The very first thing is you have to remember who you're doing this for, right? A lot of times you get into it, you get into the grind, right? And what happens is you start focusing on the micro and not the macro. Make sense? You start focusing on the micro and not the macro. What's the macro? The macro is you're supposed to be protecting the innocents. That's the point of this. And who are the innocents? The youth, the families. That's what you do it for. There's somebody that you're supposed to be helping, providing for. I get it at the time. They don't understand. Like, people are running a rat race. For a lot of people, like, they're just making ends meet. But it's up to you to make them see, give them a clear 20/20 vision of understanding that, listen, if you make this investment right here and right now, if you do this and you focus on this right here and right now, you can change your life. I'm talking about making sure. It's a selfless act, I get it. It's a selfless act for some people, for someone to understand that it's important for them to make that investment to focus on this area right here, and you may never in your life see the return on the investment. The person that's putting the effort into it, they're putting the money and the time into it, they may never see the return on the investment. That's a selfless act. And you have to be the ones to actually explain that to them. But if you get caught up in the rat race, if you get caught up in the day-to-day grind, you lose sight of the macro and you focus on the micro. What's the micro? Wait for this check to clear. I made the car payment. Another payment on the mortgage. We almost there. Oh. 2 more weeks than vacation. That's the micro. That's the micro. I need you to stay focused on the macro, and it'll make your life 10 times easier. Why? Because every day when you come to work, you'll be thinking about someone besides yourself. That's where change happens. When you start thinking about someone besides yourself, that is the macro. So, I'm going to go on to our next point. So, the next thing that we talked about was the fact that I understand what you're going through. It is a lonely profession. Is it not? Yes. It's lonely. Long days, long nights. Those early mornings you don't want to get up. You're staying up later than you normally would. You're taking time away from the things that you really want to do. Your family. Raise your hand if your family sacrifices for the time that you put in. It's lonely, and not many people understand you. I get it, I've been there. Especially if you work in the jobs where it's full commission. Listen, I've had some times where I broke down and I'm explaining it to someone and they just don't get it. They're like, well, why do you keep doing this to yourself? I ain't make any money today. Dang, man, I gotta go back and try harder. Why do you keep doing this in the first place? Just leave it alone. Go get a 9 to 5 where you can get an hourly wage or you can get a salary. Like, what? Go do that. You don't have to put yourself through this, but I do. Because I see the big picture. Maybe you don't, but I see it. Do you see the big picture? Do you still remember? That's why I asked you that question in the beginning. Do you still see it? Do you still see the big picture? Do you understand that all you need to know is that it's possible? In order for you to get it? In order for you to have it? If you know it's possible, then it's just, we're talking about probability now. What's the likelihood of you getting it? You'll get it if you put the work in. You gotta remain consistent. Every single day you gotta do the same thing over and over again. The mundane task, it doesn't matter how much it hurts, do it anyway. I get it. It's lonely. It's extremely lonely. Not many people are going to understand, but this is family in here. The people that are in here, they understand. You need to vent, you better go upline. Talk to your manager. Get it out your system, and then get back into it. Get back to the field. Kick, cry, scream, whatever you got to do. Go to the office with them, get it out your system, and then get back into the field and do what you're supposed to do. It's a lonely profession, I get it. But it's a noble profession. It's a noble profession.